Good afternoon, student. Today we come up with another videos on data model. I hope you all are fine. I am Aditi Prohit, Assistant Professor in Sagar Institute of Research and Technology, Bhopal. So let's discuss about data model. These are the content of our today's topic. First, overview of data, information, what is database and what exactly the data model is. Then types of data model. Basically, there are three types of data model: record based, entity relationship, and object oriented data model. Now move to the data. Basically, data is known as a raw fact which is stored in a computer memory and used by the user as the output. For example, 21. Then information. Collection of data is called information. For example, house number 21, scholar number 78 in the and database. Database is collection of all these interrelated data is called database. Then data model. Data model is basically a collection of concepts that can be used to describe the structure of database. How database store, in which structure it is stored, in which format it stores, it describes the data model. Then comes types of data model. In record-based data model, all these information are stored in form of record. Basically, in record-based data model, there are three types of model: relational model, network model, and hierarchical model. Record-based data model is used to specify the overall logical structure of database. Each record defines a fixed number of fields and having a fixed number of length. In record base, first model is relational data model. In relational data model, data is organized in form of two-dimensional table called relation as shown in the picture. Here department, professors, courses and students. These are the relational data models. They are interconnected with each other. In relational data model, a table name is known as the relation. Column of the relations are known as attributes and rows are known as records, or we can say that tuples. Each column in a relation is called an attribute. Each row in a relation is called tuple, or we can say that record. It tuple defines collection of these attribute value. Then come up with network model. In network model, the entities are organized in form of graph in which some entities are accessed through several paths. For example, student and professors are the information organized in a graph and which can be accessed through the several paths. These are the advantages of network model. First, it is conceptual simple model. It handles more relational types. Data access is flexible in relational in network data model. Data owner and membership relationship promotes data integrity, conformance to standard, and include data definition and data manipulation language. Then come disadvantages of network model. System complexity limits efficiency. Navigational system yields complex implementation, application development and management, and structural changes require change in all application program. Then comes hierarchical data model. Hierarchical data model organizes the data in tree structure. This is the diagram of hierarchical data model. Here department is organized in form of tree structure. These are the advantages and disadvantages of hierarchical model. First advantages, it promotes data sharing. Parent-child relationship promotes conceptual simplicity and data integrity. In hierarchical model, database security is provided. and it is enforced by database management system, and it is efficient with one-to-many relationship. Then disadvantages of hierarchical model. Disadvantages requires knowledge of physical data storage characteristics. Navigational system requires knowledge of hierarchical path. Change in structure requires change in all application program. Implementation limits, no data definition, and lack of standard. This is the comparison between hierarchical and network data model. In hierarchical data model, it manages large amount of data for complex manufacturing project represented by upside down tree which contains segments equivalent to system record types and depict one-to-many relationship. In network model, represent complex data relationship. It improves database performance and imposes a database standard, depict one-to-many, many-to-many, and many-to-one relationship. Then comes with entity relationship model. Entity relationship model views the real world as a set of basic objects and relationship among these objects. These ER models basically define entity, entity set, attribute, and relationship. These are the examples of these are the advantages and disadvantages of ER diagram. Advantages: it visual modeling yields conceptual simplicity. Visual representation makes an effective communication tool, and it is integrated with dominant relational model. Disadvantages: limited constant representation, limited relationship representation, no data manipulation language, and loss of information content occurs when attributes are removed from entities to avoid crowded display. Then object oriented data model or semantic data model. Object oriented data models are based on object oriented database management. Object In object oriented data model, object contain data and their relationship with operation that are performed on it. Basic building blocks of autonomous structure, abstraction of real world entities. Attributes defines the property of an object. Class, collection of similar objects with data with shared structure and behavior is organized in a class hierarchy. Class hierarchy resembles an up-down tree in which class has only one parent. Inheritance, object inherit methods and attribute of parent class. Unified modeling language, it is basically a language which describes set of diagrams and symbols to graphically model a system. These are the advantages and disadvantages of object oriented model. Advantages: semantic content is added, visual representation includes semantic content, inheritance promote data integrity. Disadvantages: slow development of standard cause vendors to supply their enhancement, compromise widely accepted standard, complex navigational system, learning curve is steep, high system overhead, and slow transition. That's it for today. Thank you so much for your giving valuable